Good morning, Gibson City United Methodist Church. I know it's morning, and I said that I would probably never do it. Well, I said I would never do it in the morning, but alas, miracles do happen. Perhaps this is an Advent miracle. Today's Chrismon is the candle. And the back says the candle represents Jesus, the light of the world. The wax represents his human body, the wick represents his soul, and the flame represents his divinity. So I had not heard those parts about the actual parts of the candle, but that's what Melody has written on the back here, and so that was really interesting. But we know for sure that today we usually think of it as, when we light one, we think of it as Christ's presence with us. So we have candles lit in our worship services. Typically in a traditional service, we have the light brought in, and then we have the light taken out at the end by the acolytes to symbolize the light of Christ in us going out into the world. We also have lots of candles lit on Christmas Eve. Also on Christmas Eve worship services, we usually pass the light of Christ among the congregation to show how the light of Christ spreads out from the Christ candle in all of us. And even in meetings at our church, or small groups, or perhaps Sunday school, or even at home individually when we're in a Zoom meeting or small group or Bible study, we light a candle to represent Christ's presence among us. It's a physical, visual reminder for us that Christ is with us always. So the candle, very important in our worship services and even in our everyday lives, which maybe you wouldn't think of a meeting where as being so, spiritual. But when we are doing, especially when we're doing the work of the church, it is important to remember Christ's presence among us, because that is the whole, that's where we begin and end. And I invite you too, when you're at home alone, maybe doing your devotions, to light a candle. Or I know a lot of people just light candles all the time for their personal pleasure. That would be a time in our ordinary everyday lives that we don't maybe think so much about, an opportunity to stop and acknowledge the presence of Christ with us. Even if you're just lighting it for the middle of the day, for the aroma, or perhaps in the evening for the light of it, those are opportunities where we can actually pause and focus on that ever-present reality that Christ is with us. So I invite you to think about that each and every time you light a candle. So for today, we will add this candle Chrismon to our tree. And there we go. So thanks for being with me today, and I expect to be back tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day and evening.